Welcome to the Share Groupie podcast, where we share ideas on how to help businesses grow and prosper in the online world. So, here's our Chief Share Groupie, Claire Sandbrook, talking about her digital journey and how Share Group is helping thousands of businesses to keep their business flowing and growing.
Welcome to the Share Groupie podcast. Today we're going to be talking about one of our cash flow solutions, which is debt collection on a no collect, no fee basis. This service is great for businesses who have one debt or a ledger of debts to collect. They're not sure when and if it's going to be collectible, so there's no upfront investment from you as a business. What I can say is the service can be adapted to drive down your DSO figure, your days sales outstanding, and keep the cash flowing in. Now, ideally, in a cash flow situation, if you can get your customers to pay upfront before you've delivered your product or service, that's going to be the best way to keep cash flowing. As long as you've got enough customers doing that, that's going to be great. If you're offering terms to customers, so they're paying after the goods and services have been delivered, you've got to measure that, and you do that by looking at your invoice terms, but it could be 7 days, 14 days, 30 days, 45 days, 60 days. Now, the longer it takes for the customer to pay to terms, the longer it's going to take for them to pay you at all. So you need to keep your invoice term fairly short. You can always talk to the customer about that when you're setting up your contract and your terms of business, offering them the product or service, and you say our standard terms are 30 days. Maybe that doesn't work for them, and to get the business, you may have to reduce that to 60 days. But whatever you do, you should have an eye on the ability of the customer to pay you. And we can get into that in other podcasts. Days sales outstanding. If you've got days sales outstanding at 90 plus days, then you've really got to think about the opportunity to use a debt recovery partner to help you pull that cash in. Even if you've got debt at over 60 days, for most businesses, even if they have liquidity and they have plenty of cash, I think that's untidy on the ledger, and you really want to pull that cash in and make sure, yes, you've got to have happy customers, but you've got to have a happy bank account as well. So pull that time down, and then everybody knows where they stand. There are no surprises for the customers when you ring up at day 121 and say, oh, we didn't collect this invoice in. They've then got to scramble to find that cash, which in this day and age, you just want to keep everything tight because there's a lot of uncertainty in business at the moment. You can use our service to collect in from the get-go. So as soon as an invoice goes over terms, you outsource it to us, and we very nicely and professionally collect that debt in as part of your outsourced credit control team. Again, no collect, no fee. So it's just a fee for collecting the debt in. Some of our community use the service as the next stage of escalation in their process to prepare for legal proceedings. The cycle is, in short, collection, legal, enforcement. Some of you will know that cycle. In the collection arena, it's everything from credit control through to outsourcing to a third party, trying to get that debt collected on a no collect, no fee as quickly as possible. But if that fails, then you may want to escalate process to issuing a claim for the money, using the court system through Money Claim Online, which has been a great system, particularly during the pandemic, because it doesn't go offline and it's very automated, ending up with a judgment against a customer, which sounds really more scary than it needs to be. But the next stage of the escalation, if the customer doesn't pay when they've had a judgment entered against them, is to then escalate it to a writ. We always encourage a writ of control for money judgments, which are over £600 and which are not regulated by the Consumer Credit Act. So that's the flavour of where you're going with this activity, but you may never need to go near a court or go near enforcement if we can get the collection process right in the front end. Wherever you are in your process, our no collect, no fee service is simple and it's completely free, as I said earlier, until the point of collection. At that stage, we have a standing charge of 15% commission on monies collected. Now, the way that I want you to think about this is if it's going to cost you money to use a debt collection agency to collect a debt, then I'd like you to think about updating your terms of business with your customers so that in the event that that 15% is going to be added, you can add it on as a collection charge to your customer, because why should you be put to the cost of collecting the invoice? It's quite easy to do. For those of you that have got printed forms, maybe your computer prints the terms and conditions on the back of your quotations and your invoices, just update the terms. If you want a model term to put on the back of your invoice and quotation, remember you need to get those types of terms on all your documentation so that your contract is from the get-go. Can't have what they call the classic battle of the forms with your customer about whose terms prevail. You, as the seller of the services and products, need to be on the front foot if you're going to see delay in payment and it's going to cost you money to collect that payment in. You want to be able to pass that money on to your customer. And that is a business norm that actually works across jurisdictions and territories. So don't just, if you're just in the UK, it certainly works in the UK, but if you're outside the UK and listening to this podcast, it will work in your jurisdiction. Just check out what the local law is where you are. So you can instruct us to collect that debt or debts, and you can upload them on our website at www.sharegroup.com in the cash flow selection section of our website. Very easy to do. You send us a copy of the invoice or invoices, give us your details. We will then call you to verify you as a proper business, and then we can begin to collect the debt. You can instruct us to collect debt for 30, 60 or 90 days, which means that we've got hold of it for 30, 60 or 90 days and we're working it for you. And we work it by email, telephone, SMS. It's completely flexible. So maybe you've worked with a debt collection agency before. Perhaps you didn't have the service you wanted. Let us have a look at that. Tell us about that. One of our business solutions advisors will call you to discuss your business. It won't just come in through the website and then just be dealt with anonymously. You'll have a point person in Share Group that you can talk to about your cases or case, and we will look after you and make sure you've got everything you need. Our website has been designed to make it really easy to get the debts to us, and we will then work that for you. Make sure you've got everything you need. Please remember that our friendly business solutions advisors are there to make sure you get the service that you need. They will support you through the entire period of the debt collection process. So even if your case goes to legal or it has to go on to enforcement, our business solutions advisors are trained in all our products and services to help you, the customer. And the whole idea is that you get your debt back as quickly as possible. Or if you can't have it back, you will have the reasons why. We want to understand why this debt went wrong for you. We want to feed that back to you so you don't make that same, I'm going to say mistake, but you don't have that same situation again. All businesses have issues with invoices and getting customers to pay when they do business like this. So you're not on your own. It's not unique. It's a multi-million-pound business out there collecting debt. It's just this time you got unlucky and we need to put that right. So check us out at www.sharegroup.com. Find us on Cashflow Solutions, upload your debt on the B2B service and let us have a look at it and take care of it. Have a great day.
Thanks for listening. And if you want to join the Share Groupie community, you can subscribe by going to our website at www.sharegroup.com. You can find the Share Groupies on all Share Group main channels, including Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest, and LinkedIn. So, connect where you can and create more business connections. And don't forget, we're all about minding your business so you can do something more interesting.